Now, hey guys, welcome back to the I Exist to Spite podcast, where we talk about whatever we want to.
Hello.
Um, है, बेटा सलाम करें मेहमान से सब
Assalamualaikum, aunties.
एक सेकंड
तुम्हारी
जिससे पहले
आंटी
मैं
ने
भूल
बोला
जाऊं
यार ruining it for me.
एक सेकंड रुको जरा make sure you before we start make sure you subscribe and press the bell thing and also like. It doesn't take that much of an effort. नीचे जाएं बस कर दें. We are also on Castbox if you want to check us out there if you're comfortable listening to us there. Follow us on Instagram at I Exist to Spite. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's start. Let's start this shit. Oh, cue the intro
Zain.
music. Cue the intro music. I've forgotten everything. Cue the intro music.
Okay, so let's talk about how we skipped a week. Welcome back, first of all. Let's talk about what happened while we were gone. Um, so we are busy with uni stuff at the moment. Then, as you know, I was already in Canada, so getting whiter by the day.
पढ़ाई कर रहा हूँ बहुत. मैं एक अच्छे बारे में बोलने वाला था और जो है ना बस ऐसे ही बोल दो. मैं कोई वाइट नहीं हो रहा. मुझे बस सुशी और एवोकाडो पसंद आ गए.
Avocado पसंद आ रहा है मुझे. I have developed a taste for the
Zain is becoming a visco girl.
What?
Zain, where's your bottle? Where's the water bottle?
Zain, where are your bracelets? Oh shit! He really is a visco girl.
No, this is like ये मेरी बहन की है. Anyways.
So let me tell you what I did today. I went for my AKU MCAT and I was tired as hell because I've been studying for the past 2-3 days. I slept at 3 a.m. yesterday and woke up at 5 or 6, I don't know.
Oh,
And
I
then
missed that.
gave no, it's not as fun as it sounds when you have a test to worry about.
Oh.
Also, like, what was
I don't think
wrong
Zain
with
is
them?
worried about that. He just misses his
I
tests.
mean, all-nighters we used to pull all the time in college. Now is
Yeah.
now
Yeah,
it's
but I'm out of
I feel I kind of miss it.
practice.
True.
Yeah,
You need
I missed it,
it's an
but
art.
I'm out of practice. It's an art, okay? But let me tell you what happened. So I was very tired, and by the time the test was done and I got home, I was exhausted. And I don't know why, but my mom, my dad, and my brother dropped me off today, and then they all came back to pick me up like it was my first day of school or something. But I was tired, and I was like just nodding my head, head to the conversation. Or Jesse, ah, okay, rewind. Okay, as soon as we got home, I got out of the car, came upstairs, like slept, woke up at 5, and then slept again. But when I woke up at 9 p.m., my mom goes like, "Mama, तुम्हारा passport किधर है?" And I'm like,
Oh
very
shit.
delusional at that point. I do not know what's happening around me because sleep.
Yeah.
And it was a long nap. Okay, I have no consciousness at the moment, and I'm like, वो मेरे box में रखा हुआ होगा वहाँ पे, and I'm about to go back to sleep, and she's like, नहीं, उसमें कुछ भी नहीं है, it's खाली. And I'm like, oh shit, that woke me up. And then my dad comes into the room, and he's like,
Oh shit.
passport guy.
What? एक second. पहले एक बात बताओ. Why did you have your passport in the first place? Where were you going?
Because AKU is weird. Even though we had an admit card on us, which they provided, which had our photos on it, but they were like, no, you need to have a national identification with you as well. So either bring your passport or a smart card or your national identification card, NIC. Yeah. But I was like, NIC is too small because we were not allowed to carry any bags, any stationaries, or any wallets with us or phones with us. And they were like, you can't even wear your own mask, discard it at the gate, and we'll give you our own mask. And we'll give you our own stationery and our own water bottle. And they gave me like this tiny 300 ml water bottle, which was a cute piece of garbage, but whatever. So I was like, no, I'll lose the smart card. I'll take this passport because it's bigger, so I'll keep track of it. But that turned out well. So
I'll keep track
basically
of
what
it.
happened, so basically, and then my brother, he can't shut his mouth for shit. Then he basically goes like, we found it on the road when my dad accidentally dropped Halim on
Oh,
him.
the hell.
Let's not
It
even
was
talk about the
chaotic.
theme, but about the Halim, but throw back to when Omama said I can keep track of it.
Yeah, so that was a mistake. But yeah, so my dad's mad now. He he always thought that I can't keep track of things and I'm very irresponsible. This did not help at all.
I mean,
But
you did
yep,
drop your passport on the
I
road.
was
What do
dead
you
on my
expect?
feet. Okay, I was dead on my feet, and I'm 20% sure I brought it upstairs and I kept it by my
बोर्ड के नीचे
bedside.
चला गया.
नहीं,
20%
because
sure is not
I
very
had
nice.
नहीं,
That's not very
देखो.
sure,
The thing
Omama.
is, I
Yeah.
have baby cousins that drop things from the balcony all the time. So I'm 50% sure they did that. But I have
She's
no clue.
20% sure she put it by the bedside table, but 50% sure that her cousins dropped it on.
Dude, that means you're 80% sure you dropped it on the road and 50% sure your cousins threw it out the balcony.
Yeah, okay, excuse
Math.
me. I have done my share of math for today.
Statistics.
Okay, I did 30 maths questions today. Okay, that is hard. Shut up. And that was
Suno,
maths
Especially for a very
suno,
reasoning.
good student.
No, it's
I
not
had
about
I
medical
had
student. It's about me sucking at maths
I had
because
an
I
A
know
star in
medical
S2.
students. Yeah, I don't care. I have how many A stars do you have in A levels then?
I have 0 A stars in A levels.
I
But
Yeah,
have
so do
0
not
that
stars
doesn't
in
argue.
matter,
life.
you know.
Do not argue with me. No,
Anyways,
flex. Okay, moving on. So, Maria, how's the packing going though? Packing up your life?
That's it's like I'm moving, which I am, like, and I didn't expect that it would take this long. There's like 4 pages ki list of the stuff that I need to take and the stuff I need to buy abhi tak, and also bahut sare documents. Um,
Hmm.
and also let us talk about the fact that NUST emailed us 4 days, like on the 29th, and it was like, we need you on campus by the 2nd of October because you need to
oh God,
quarantine
I
you
was
for
so
10
pissed off when
days.
you told that, Maria.
They
I mean,
I,
Honestly,
though
how do they
Pakistan mein this
expect
is an
people to
issue,
get there?
People
Hmm?
did get their Abes made it.
No, but Maria, it's super
but
hyped
Abis
because
is Abis.
people already had their tickets, so that money is wasted. You have to get urgent tickets that is expensive, and with corona and quarantine, the capacities have been reduced. I
बहुत
think.
ज़्यादा expensive है because I remember
Yeah, it's
कुछ
expensive,
दिन
and
पहले
like you don't even get that many tickets because
you don't, and also think about all the people who are going by train, like मैं ट्रेन से जा रही हूँ ना,
hmm,
अगर
hmm,
मैं अपनी पीछे भी करा देती सीट, which by the way trains के अंदर नहीं होता ये वाला हिसाब, it
hmm,
would take me 24 hours to get there.
exactly. Like, excuse me, diva behavior nust.
Uh, this week, my sister got married,
Oh
Yeah, good
shit.
for her.
and I was a witness at her nikah.
Not so good for
Oh,
her.
okay. So, okay, क्या मतलब not so good for her? So let me tell you what happened. I had no suits, right? For the इस wedding के लिए कोई suits हमने सिलवाए नहीं थे because the lockdown चल रहा था and we didn't want to go out, and so I had to wear an old suit. और जो suit मुझे fit आ रहा था
Hmm.
because I have lost a lot of weight. So जो एक suit जो मुझे kind of fit आ
Skinny
रहा था
boy
ना,
check.
मेरा high school का farewell का suit था, और it was okay. तब मुझे याद है जब टेलर के पास गए थे, तो अमूमन when you आप कपड़े सिलवाते हो, you tell the tailor, okay, I want to look like you want to look good, right? Not how you
I
really
want
look.
to look like it's expensive and it
Yeah,
fits
you want
me.
it to look, like it's perfectly fit, right?
Like
Hmm.
not
This guy
like a
tells me,
Nashwali.
no, that's not how it is. You get your suits made the way your body is shaped, and I was
Hmm.
hard this की तरह fat. and
That
पहाड़ की तरह
is,
and
fat.
I don't know.
see,
I don't know,
so when I
Zain.
wore my suit, I looked like a mountain. and I went to the farewell, and I am 100%. I was not happy with the suit. I'm 100% sure that ruined my farewell because I was looking lanky
Zen, Zen,
AF.
you're being dramatic now.
But
What's his
so,
sister's
anyways,
wedding?
इधर इधर sisters wedding थी ना, तो उसमें गए थे, and I was okay. So socially distanced निकाह में जो है ना 40 guests थे, और
40.
it was like huh 40 guests थे, and you were like people were sitting in pairs all across the hall, right? And I was sitting
Uh-huh.
alone because single for life. When it was my turn to get up and sign the thing, I was seated at the back of the hall, right?
Why
So
did
I
you
had
have
to
to? Oh,
walk
you
through
were a
like
witness, right?
I was a witness, but सबको अलग अलग बिठाया हुआ था ना. They had to keep everyone अलग. So
Yeah.
I walked amongst 20 people easy in my lanky AF suit, and then I got down and signed the thing. I was so self-conscious. Pictures यहाँ पे लगा देंगे. Um, but I was very self-conscious. It anyways. क्या
honestly,
कर सकते
lanky
हैं?
suits suck. Like if you're wearing like shalwar kameez or like even pant shirt, you can make it work. You can make it look cute. But suits, no, that doesn't
Suits
work.
like अगर fit ना हो ना so they feel weird.
Lanky suits are a scourge. खत्म हो गई बात. Okay, so
Okay.
from now on, what I want to do, we had this idea, is that we can have this recurring segment on the podcast where we suggest a book for our audience. So I came up
Yeah.
with the book this week. It's called "They Said This Would Be Fun." It's by Eternity Martyrs. It was my it's a sort of a course book for one of my courses in university about and the course का नाम जो है वो है How to Be an Anti-Racist. Uh, so this is about race and about
Mm.
campus life. And this person, the woman who wrote it, is part Pakistani and part Jamaican. So there are parts where I can relate a lot, where she talks about how her favorite movie is Kit Kat. Her favorite movie is Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, and she talks about Shah Rukh Khan and stuff like that, and Nihari and Hima and stuff like that. So I really like that.
Dihari. Mm.
Oh, my mom made
And
nihari today.
there's also this okay random. रुक जाओ.
Let
I
her
know
talk
that's our
about
vibe, but we
Nihari.
don't want to do that this time. We're talking about racism, not Nihari.
Okay, continue.
Okay, so there's this one excerpt that I really feel is relevant for a lot of Pakistanis, and
Hmm.
not relevant, but I feel like we need to know this. We need to understand what this is.
Acknowledge it.
It's about it's about blackface,
Hmm.
which isn't a let me read the thing. And that's what blackface is: the performance of black stereotypes that produce negative portrayals of a marginalized group, all for the sake of amusement. It does not have to be on a stage. Modern day minstrelsy, sorry for the bad English, includes non-black people wearing urban wear and dreads, speaking in African American vernacular English, appropriating clothes and hairstyles, and wearing foundation shades several shades darker and darkening skin tones on photos. Um, the part that
So
I want to
that
talk about is
the last
speaking
part is
in
basically. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you go. You
the
continue.
part that I wanted to highlight was speaking in African American vernacular English is very relevant for us because I've noticed that a lot of
Hmm.
Pakistanis use the N word quite
Yeah.
casually, and they don't say the N word. They don't understand what that the context behind that word is. They just throw it out without
Hmm.
understanding it. And I really feel like we need to know what it means. If you're dark skinned, that does not mean that you get to say that. I think. I don't know.
Also, I feel
Maybe
like
as I
that
said,
the use of N word specifically, it's like more common in the more privileged societies, and that is honestly
N-word.
like
The
worse.
N-word was used for I think enslaved African
Hmm.
American people,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
and
was the
then
name
they
that like
kind of
basically
why they use it themselves is like taking back their history. You know,
Yeah.
Hmm.
we're gonna
That
use
is why we can't use it, because like it was used as a derogatory term for them, but then they decided that they were going to own it. So I think they
Hmm.
are the
it.
only ones
Exactly.
who have a right to use it. And also that
Exactly.
is
And
why
so that's why
like cultural,
a lot of people in Pakistan, I feel like, who are slightly dark skinned say that because we're dark skinned we can use it.
Hmm. Yeah,
It's
but
not,
that's
yeah,
not
I don't
our.
you're
think it works that way. It's
But
not our
that's not
history, it's not
our
our culture.
history.
We should
Yeah.
respect their culture.
yeah, that's
Also,
like their
especially
history.
Uh,
considering, especially considering how Pakistanis are being like usually get discriminated against, and that our culture is like degraded so much. I think we should be the ones that should understand the importance of it, and it's honestly sad that we don't, and like we
Definitely.
disregard it so much.
I mean, I think this book goes
Hmm.
over internalized racism in
Hmm.
Pakistani communities. Like I said, the writer, whose name is Eternity Martis, check this book out, please. It's a really nice book. Um, there have been several points where I have cried a little. Uh, she talks about how her Pakistani side of her family really
Hmm.
bugged her about her darker skin,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah,
suggesting like skin whitening creams and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
that is a
she
toxic
said,
culture
"Okay,
in its own.
I started hating myself even before I could understand what being black means,
Hmm.
and that too at a very young age. I don't remember the exact thing. I'm paraphrasing the entire story, but that's
Hmm.
what the point was. And I felt like that is very relevant in our society where dark skinned people are really, really made fun of, like in a really mean way.
And even if they're not being made fun of, like it's implied that the way that they look, it's not beautiful, and that's not acceptable, so they have to change themselves in order to be acceptable into society, or in order
बहुत
to be
like
beautiful.
accepted सी चीजें हैं यहाँ पे कि मतलब अगर आपकी स्किन ऐसी है तो आपको रिश्ते नहीं आएंगे and stuff.
And like even the ads are like blatant, like
It
fair
is so open. और पता है क्या, जब
hmm,
racism की कोई बात करता है ना, when someone talks about racism, they
hmm,
say you like leave it. It's not our issue. It's not, racism isn't a thing in Pakistan. It's an American thing. Why are you being,
hmm.
and I've been
Yeah.
guilty of that at the beginning when I didn't understand the entire thing. We have our own form of internalized racism. We have our own
Hmm,
form of discrimination. When we look at the ads where they show darker skinned girls not getting a job, so you should
hmm.
use skin whitening creams. That actually, I feel like, does happen when you're hiring people. You do have an implicit bias towards people who look better. I feel like. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Especially
and
like
Look better.
because
even
Sorry,
a
the
sorry.
lot of
concept.
Let
women,
me say. Look better in their own, what the internalized racist view of
Hmm.
looking good is.
Or
so
even
no,
just
especially
implying that. No, you go ahead, Maria.
thank you. Especially because I feel like my society के अंदर women are like not, they don't work very often because most of the times like their families don't allow them to, like, and I feel like a lot more women apply for like receptionist wali job than men
Hmm.
do, and in those jobs it's more like people think that their opinion, their like appearance matters a lot. Sorry, the women's
Huh.
opinion doesn't matter. What am I saying?
Uh,
Yeah, but like their appearance matters a lot, इसलिए they have an issues के अंदर, especially like because news anchors वगैरह को भी आप देखें, that is a big thing in their industry too, I think,
hmm.
that
Yeah,
they
they're all
don't get hired if they
even
white
don't look.
even
and
even with our like media industries with actresses like undergoing like skin whitening procedures and promoting them, that is honestly very toxic, because like young girls, like they do look up to those actresses and people they see on TV, and it's a very harmful message to send.
so
Yes, it
what I
is.
think in Pakistan is that the sort of things are starting to get more polarized, where there
Hmm.
is a segment of society that is more privileged in terms of income and where they live and where they've studied, what kind of education, like where they've studied is अक्सर लोग जो है वो बाहर से पढ़ के they come back to
Hmm.
Pakistan,
Hmm.
and their views about the world, they're more aware about what racism is, about what sexism is, about
Hmm.
equality. they're more aware. And so the polarization is that when they talk about these issues, they just say you're wrong. They don't explain it very well. And the other thing that they do wrong, then Pakistani
Hmm.
people who are living in Pakistan are completely unaware of these things,
Hmm.
and they often, एक होता है ना, elites versus working class वाली चीज. The
Yeah.
Elitism
working class is annoyed when they're schooled.
in our society, it's somehow become acceptable to have these views, and as much as people who have these views are at fault, it's also people who are educated and who have exposure to the world. They're at fault too, because they get to the part where they blame people for everything and just throw insults at them. Oh, you're racist and this and that. That's not how you change people's views. You need to
Yeah.
confront them, like have their opinions and have their views, and then tackle them one by one. Just by saying that, oh, you're wrong, you can't make anyone change their mind.
Exactly.
Yeah, attacking
I mean,
people
I
is
think
never helpful.
I think the first step is that we desensitize people from talking about these issues. A lot of people say that we बात ही नहीं करो. You shouldn't talk about these things,
Hmm.
about race, about. I feel like if Pakistan mein, because it's such a current issue, religion, because we have so much more that is similar than we have that's different. We should,
Hmm.
if we talk about it, maybe we can get to something where a place
We
where.
should. So no, think where people are going wrong is that they think कि racism is pretending that there are no differences between us, because that is just
हाँ, that is
unrealistic.
so true. Okay, मेरी जो class है ना उसके अंदर I've learned कि race, the idea of race was a thing that people came up, the elite business people who
Hmm.
were to benefit from the thing came up with it, came up with the idea of race. They said that white people are somehow better than black people, and
Hmm.
because black people are intellectually inferior, they said they are
Hmm.
made for lifting things and doing the burden wali cheese. They should be, their place is in the plantations, their place is in the field where they fit in better, and they should work there for free. So they came up with the idea of race to justify the institution of slavery,
Hmm.
and
Lower
it
their
and the
costs.
idea of race and the racist ideas became so entrenched in all of
Like,
our institutions
hmm,
that they've
Capitalism,
become just
initially,
racism.
like
uh,
racism was initially used to justify colonialism and the slave trade, right?
exactly. And now
Everything is
that's why we
capitalist
have
agenda.
institutionalized racism, because all of these
Hmm.
ideas are already instilled so deeply in these
Hmm.
institutions and in the mindsets of people. In Pakistan and India, the British left us feeling the white superiority. Pakistan mein is tarah hai. What we mean by internalized racism is that most
Hmm.
Pakistanis are like light skin, like dark light skin, right? Beach mein hai kuch.
We're brown. We're brown.
We're, oh, right. So brown people. Most Pakistanis are
Hmm.
brown, and
Hmm.
they don't like themselves. There's hundreds of millions of people who don't like the way they look. They're not happy about it. They feel like
Hmm.
they get discriminated because of it. They're willing to put their health on the line, their skin health on the line,
Hmm.
putting on these
They're
creams and
willing
the
to
bleach
not
and the
get
stuff.
vitamin D and play the sports that they want to play.
Exactly. Uh, I don't know. But that's what I mean when I say internalized racism. I don't know what I might be wrong or
Hmm.
whatever.
नहीं, I think you're right. बहुत सारे, I think we're at a point now where like some people still don't know that it's wrong, but for the most part, I think people realize that it's wrong. So they
It's
still
mostly the
have those
younger
views.
generations,
They
like
still have
who.
those views. It is, so now the thing is, कि it is very hard to unlearn something that you've been taught your entire life. You can't just like
That
snap
is
your
true.
fingers and not be racist anymore. Like you can control yourself and not say racist things. Like, and you
Hmm.
have to actively work towards telling yourselves that
Okay. Let me give our audience a suggestion of how
yeah,
we can fix this. Maybe try to
Hmm.
fix it as a society, as a community.
Hmm.
When I was younger, I was told a lot about. But I feel like racism in Pakistan is more about जैसे
Skin
पश्तून
color
लोगों का
and
मजाक
stuff
उड़ाते हैं, हम
and
पंजाबियों का
cultures.
मजाक उड़ाते हैं, हम सिंधियों का, हमारा कल्चरल डिस्क्रिमिनेशन
हमारे
होती है.
सारे लतीफे पठानों के
अफगानी,
बारे में होते हैं.
हाँ एग्जैक्टली, जो अफगान रेफ्यूजीज आए थे उनके
Hmm.
बारे में मिसकंसेप्शन थे. they're savages, they're illiterate and they're very rude.
Hmm.
And I had grown up in that sort of environment. And what happened is that as I grew up, मेरी community में, I
Hmm.
made friends with people who had come as refugees, and they told me
Hmm.
about their stories and about their country, how they passionately talked about their country, and I could relate to that because I feel passionately about my country as well. And that sort of exposure with people, I made friends with them. So the mindset that they are rude and savages, gone. Similarly, the school में I made friends who are Punjabis. वही एक
Hmm.
जो mindset होता है ना, like stereotypes जो आपने दिमाग में बना के रखे हुए होते हैं, they start to break down. Similarly, Sindhis के बारे में, similarly Balochis के बारे में, they start to
Hmm.
like even
start to break down.
provinces के अलावा, like even people who are living like just in Karachi, मेमन के बारे में लोग क्या कहते हैं कि वो like
They're greedy and
हाँ
कंजूस.
Hmm.
So what
And
you
like the
need
thing
to do,
is,
what we need to do, is actively go out for exposure. Try to
Hmm.
take part in conferences where people are gonna be there.
it will, so like your
Make
idea
friends.
of what those
Don't close
people are
off to
like
your
is,
community.
yeah,
ताकि you
like don't write people off just because of where they're from.
Hmm.
And then
Also,
also
I feel
one
like
other thing.
what we've done is we've taken something that was used against us by like the British, and we've just adapted that system to discriminate amongst our own people and divide ourselves further. And that divide and rule policy that was initially used to conquer this area, we've just adapted it to it
Exactly.
so much that we can't let go,
Yeah,
even after
even
they
though
left.
like, yeah,
And another thing, I
hard.
think this might be useful in starting a conversation. A lot of people don't like to talk about it, but ये जहाँ भी देखें, if you reach till the end of this podcast here, comment, tell us stories about instances about discrimination you faced on, like it might be about your skin color, it might be about what ethnic background you're from, it might that hurt you, it might be about your religion. Tell us in the comments below. If we talk about this, if we talk about it, share our experiences, I guarantee you it will make things better.
Remember, it's not about pretending that we don't have differences, but just accepting our differences.
Exactly.
That our differences do not make us any lesser or greater than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Racism is capitalist.